Welcome to Unleash Your Inner Goldilocks, how to get it just right. Thank you so much for joining us for another interesting and insightful conversation. And you are going to absolutely be blown away by the topic as well as the guest today. The guest today is a returning friend of Unleash Your Inner Goldilocks. And as you have heard me refer to him, my brother, my hot brother, somebody I lean into, and somebody we both help each other grow and
Yes.
learn and become who we are meant to be. And so it is truly my honor to bring on Marquese Martin-Hayes. Marquese, welcome back to Unleash
Thank
Your
you.
Inner
So
Goldilocks.
good to be back. So good to be back. I need to stop staying away. Coming back is always a treat. Thank you for having me, Dr. Cass.
My absolute pleasure. So today we're going to be talking about something extremely special,
Mhm.
something that is related to health, related to balancing our well-being, and how simple nature-made elements can truly bring balance to our lives. In Goldilocks, we talk about the importance of finding that balance and staying in that place of balance so that we can live our best life. And
Mhm.
today is no different. So,
Mhm.
as we get started, Marcus, I want you to share with our audience
Mhm.
what this special thing you are doing and
Yes.
why you started it.
And what was the last part?
Why you started it.
Oh my God. All right. Excellent. So today on the Goldilocks show, I'm super grateful. I get to introduce for the very first time my product. It's called FUPA Water. Now, FUPA Water is a special blend of different minerals and whole food ingredients designed to help the body heal, particularly from the areas of inflammation and gut fat and excess. Let me break it down. Once again, it's FUPA water, FUPA. Now, in some circles, I've found that that can be a very, you chose the word FUPA. I even had one of my supervisors come to me at one of the partnerships I have and say, are you sure you want to go with that name? And it was in that moment I said, absolutely. Because FUPA means fat upper pelvic area. So it's medically accurate and socially compelling. So I chose to stick with the name FUPA because everyone knows when I identify what it is, they're like, oh gosh, I have a FUPA, both men and women. And I want to, now that I have it on the market, let me give you the ingredients and I'll circle back in a moment because I really want to get to why FUPA water. The ingredients are spirulina, chlorella, apple cider vinegar, aloe vera, turmeric, lemon, and agave. It literally has only 5 calories per serving. So you don't have to worry about calorie count. There's zero sugars added. It is all 100% whole food ingredients. And where we can get organic, we get organic as well. Our chlorella, our spirulina are both organic sources, and we'll continue to expand that as we're able to. Now, why in the world FUPA water? All right. So to know a little bit about me, if you've watched other shows, I actually really care about us as humans. I literally care. And about, I don't know, 15 years ago, I entered the world of health and wellness. I entered it haphazardly. I wrote a book called Monday Again, 4 Essentials for a Healthy Lifestyle. People would come to me and say, I loved your book. It was so great. Well, I was smart enough to know you might be blowing smoke up my behind, and I didn't want to believe that. So I wanted them to quantify it. And the one thing they said over and over again was, I lost weight and I feel better. And I was blown away, like, it's not a weight loss book. What are you talking about? But I did add in some elements on how to refresh the body so that we can be more present in our day-to-day lives and in our relationships. That led to a whole host of things, including group coaching, for weight loss and helping people. The Final Fitting, our luxury wellness brand for helping brides and grooms get in shape. The #1 juice bar in Chicago, according to Yelp at one point in time that we used to run. And as a part of that juice bar, about 6 years ago, one of my clients came to me and said, you should probably create a detox tea. To which I replied, no, not interested, because detox teas and things like that are sometimes and oftentimes simply diuretics. The thing about a diuretic is that it also strips away good bacteria, things your body needs and nutrients your body needs, not just going to the restroom. That's not the answer. And I refused. And they kept saying, at least make your version of it. So I did. And all the ingredients that are in FUPA water are what I put in my detox tea, literally exactly, but in wet form. When I did that, all of a sudden my juice sales started plummeting because the tea sales are going insane, Kaz. People were like buying it off the shelf. I couldn't, the wives would come in and say, my husband is wondering, when am I going to get rid of all these mason jars laying around our house? Because they were buying it and they were getting results. They were finding that lower stubborn fat area starting to dissipate. Last fall, tinkering around, trying to figure out how can I still add value to the world? I tend to be on the go a lot. I'm in one city or another, one country or another, more and more, but I still wanted to find a way to add value. And people have been asking me, when are you going to come out with something? We miss your juices. We miss your teas. That's when I started going to work, got in the lab, and created this formula that is the tea, but it's in powder form. And we've now branded it as FUPA. That's how we got here.
Fantastic. And you had to explain to me what FUPA was because I didn't know. So thank you for that.
Yes.
But
Well,
as we build on this conversation, there is also this misnomer that it's only women who have fat in the upper pelvic area, but men do too. And
absolutely.
also, how is this different from the beer belly?
Oh, I love it. Okay. So that's a great question, Cass. So technically the beer belly or the apron belly or the pannus area, which is above the fupa, is a collection of fat that's been stored from being over acidic, too much yeast, too much sugar, acid reflux, all those things, basically the digestive system not working like it should. That's the upper area. Just below the pannus or just below the apron belly, the beer belly, right above in the pelvic bone area, the upper part of the pelvic bone area is the fupa. Here's what's interesting. While there's anatomically separate areas, the belly always impacts the fupa. And ultimately, without getting too technical and trying to keep it simple, inflammation throughout the body is not a good thing. And stomachs are where we tend to store it. Many FUPAs, both men and women, are a result of still having the beer belly, the apron belly, and having not rid the toxins out of the way so that it can dissipate, so that their stools are easier, so that they don't have the bloated belly. It's one of the things that people say to me in the first week. It's like, all of a sudden, I don't feel bloated anymore. Yeah, because they're getting it more alkalized. They have nutrients. So the belly and the stomach area can better properly digest. They're also increasing their water, which is essential. And as that happens, then it's easy for the body to also go ahead and take care of the FUPA area as well. And that begins to dissipate. And the goal is, because some people really love their FUPA cast, just to say that as well, it's a different conversation. The goal isn't to get rid of it, but to make sure it's healthy. And any excess inflammation we don't want there. We don't want it in our belly, nor in our FUPA, nor anywhere in our body. And these nutrients, if you look them up, it's not rocket science. Like, I don't have to make any of this stuff up. I just combine them in a beautiful way and then allow nature to do what nature does. And that's help us heal.
Mhm. And you know me enough to know that I love everything Mother Nature makes. And when
Yes.
you have natural ingredients, you're putting together
Yes.
what evolution intended for us to consume, for us to stay in balance. And
Absolutely.
so that is what I love about this. I make my own version of this every morning, right? In an empty stomach. It's a cultural thing. But one of the things that's coming up to my mind is
Mhm.
there is also something called cortisol-induced belly fat.
Mhm.
Stress drives it. A lot of times women carry it because let's face it, in reality, even career women have to come home and be the homemaker as well, right?
Right.
And then
Mm.
caregiver and nurturer and take care of things in society. All the unpaid work and the responsibility is also predominantly on the women.
Mhm.
Very rarely do men show up for those kind of things. Even when we have nonprofit community events, very rarely do you see a guy, regardless of age, show up. It's always women, right?
Yep.
So when all of this work is being done and women are sleep deprived
Mm.
and the stress drives the cortisol,
Yeah.
especially as they get into their 40s to 60s, where children are leaving home, elderly parents need to be cared for, spouses need to be cared for,
Mhm.
all of these things are happening right in a confluence.
Yeah.
How does FUPA water contribute to addressing that cortisol?
I love that you brought that up, Cass, because here's the secret, everybody. Most things are marketing. Almost everything is marketing. I chose FUPA water because I know that in many instances, we've not been able to attack that lower area. People have been at the gym for hours, weeks, and months at a time. And while the rest of their body is getting toned, that one hadn't. It's all related between the stress, which is acidic, diet, acidic, life, stress, again, acidic, pollution, acidic, and not having a healthy lifestyle, whether that's mind, whether that's physical activity or nutrition. All of those things contribute. And it just so happens that the body in those individuals tends to collect in the stomach area. The reason FUPA water helps is because it's whole foods, it's alkaline in nature. So while, yes, it will attack the FUPA, it'll also help mitigate cortisol. Cortisol is a natural thing. Excess of it causes stress, causes the stomach areas and all those other things, but it also causes heart disease. It also causes liver disease and kidney disease. Something like FUPA water, which is a whole food based product, helps the entire body. It's just branded FUPA water because we can identify, like we treat symptoms in our society. I have a headache. Oh, I need an aspirin. Or in my day, a bear. Bear aspirin, Cass, just in case. I want to be, I was like, wait a minute, Cass, what are you talking about? You want a bear? No, 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 no. A bear. But whole food sources help the entire body. Our body is such a miraculous thing. Miraculous thing. In fact, speaking back to the cortisol and the stomach area and why we collect there, fat, Kaz, I learned this probably 12 years ago. Fat is actually our friend. It's the body's way of saying, wait a minute, whatever you're releasing or consuming looks like it's trying to kill us. So instead of allowing it to attack the vital organs, we're going to move it away to other parts of the body to keep you alive. Our mechanical physical body is that brilliant, and that's how fat is derived. It's the body trying to keep it away from vital organs, and it will stay in those pockets or areas that we are all familiar with until we start giving the body the fuel that our cells understand. I've been vacillating between the term food and food because I want, particularly in the Western world, to understand that because it's labeled food doesn't mean it's food. It's a term that's been overutilized. We need to feed ourselves. And when we feed ourselves actual food or nutrients, then they know what to do with it. They're encoded to take those nutrients and go throughout the body and heal and repair and remove waste and make fupas healthy and shrink visceral fat. But the simpler way to possibly understand it for many people is this. Most American cars or cars in the US are unleaded. You'd never put diesel in an unleaded tank because if you did, the car would stop running. And unfortunately, in the standard American diet, and more than half is not even actual food. So your cells are looking at it saying, what is this? What is this? And so it creates inflammation to protect itself. It's trying to keep you alive. It's trying to keep you safe. But it's not until you start putting in actual foods that the cells can decode that it makes sense. For example, I'll give you this one last one, Kaz, around to help bring together what I mean about how cells understand what food is and what food isn't. A plant and our hemoglobin are biologically the same. The only difference, the only chemical that's different between the two is iron and magnesium. So as you eat more living foods or more plant-based foods, you're essentially helping keep your blood naturally cleansed. When your blood is naturally cleansed, it tends to be more alkaline, or let's say it this way, stronger, so that those cells can go remove toxins out of the body versus storing them. Is that helpful?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So two questions come up for me.
Yeah.
One, you know that I live between Belize and Chicago, or the Belize and US, now in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny. I've been back in Belize for a week, and everybody keeps saying, Cass, you look so beautiful.
Yep.
What's different? I'm like, while I am a vegetarian eater, I eat very cleanly sourced
Mm-hmm.
food,
Mm-hmm.
but still the products have toxins because of the fertilizers, because of the pesticides. So from face to the whole body is slightly bloated.
Yeah.
But the minute I come to Belize and 2 days into it,
Yes.
all of that is gone. And even my
Yes.
facial structure looks different, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
how can we be prudent about this? Because no matter how much we pay for organic food, the pesticides and the fertilizers are still in that. It's in
Yes.
our groundwater, it's in
Yes.
the air we breathe. So
Yes.
that's one element of it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the other element is that knowing that, how do we combat it?
Great questions. Great questions. Great questions that absolutely matter. Number one, take personal responsibility to understand that we live in a society that poisons its food. This is truth. I know it's hard for us to accept because we don't want to believe the truth. We live in a society that poisons its food to ensure its people are on its drugs. I'm gonna let that sit for just a second. Because one of the things that we manufacture for our GDP are drugs. And that's a very hard thing for us Westerners to accept, but it's reality. Otherwise, more than 30 countries wouldn't ban our products and our foods. And our favorite restaurants wouldn't use completely different ingredients in other countries. So we really need to accept that. Okay, now that that very tough pill is hard to swallow, it is so. The second thing that I recommend is that you get hydrated. One of the things I teach my clients is that we don't understand that water is significantly more important than food. And while some of our water is a little bit tainted, I don't disagree with you. The underlying biological structure is still the same. And we have to rely on being hydrated, having our cells hydrated, even if it has a little fluoride in it or whatever it is that concerns you the most. I understand it's what it is. You're still positioning your body in the best possible situation with where you are. On top of that, there are things that you can do. There are filtration systems that you can purchase to filter your water. There are natural filtration systems and methodologies that you could use also. For example, putting your water in lemon and letting it sit in lemon is one of the ways you can help alkalize that water so the body can consume or receive it more and utilize it. That's just one of many different sources. Two, when it comes to the food, yeah, it's wild, but that's not an excuse to say, well, since everything has a little something going on, I might as well have that. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't have what you want. I'm just saying that you live in a society that while you choose to have what you want, it's working against you, against us. Kaz, I'm like you. You know, Brazil is what I call home. When I'm in Brazil, oh, fresh sugar cane. Kaz, I'm gonna be honest. There's this word, you probably know what it means. Queijo. Do you know what queijo is? Cheese. When I'm on the beach in Brazil in the hot sun, I'll hear a man or a woman say, queijo, queijo. And in America, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because my stomach bloats. I have very uncomfortable gas and it's horrendous. But when I'm in Brazil, it doesn't bother me at all. Now, I'm not advocating that cheese is the best thing for me. I'm aware it's still not something my body needs, but how my body processes it is strikingly different. So when I'm in America, even though I enjoy cheese in Brazil, that is a no-no. And the reason it's a no-no and why I tend to be more strict on myself is while I understand what's true out there, it's not an excuse. I still have to produce. I still need to be mentally clear. I still need to be alert when I'm with my children. I need to be alert when I'm with the people that I love. I need my body to function at its best capacity. And I know that the only way to do that is to hydrate and eat more fresh, whole foods whenever possible. And it's always possible if I take the time to prioritize myself first.
Absolutely. I'm loving this conversation. We could go on for hours.
We could
But
easily.
but I want to open this up for conversation with our live audience.
Yeah.
And I know both Robin and Dr. Menon are going to have questions, both of whom are friends of this community and they know you very well. So go ahead.
Um, Hi, Marquis. My question, actually, I'm really blown away by this conversation because, inflammation is everywhere. I mean, I'm an ophthalmologist and inflammation, we're constantly talking about inflammation because, the eye, dry skin,
Mhm.
everything involves, inflammation and it's a process of trying to explain to people. So I'm really enamored by the way that you have explained it so simplistically for
Thank you.
people to understand.
Mhm.
And so my question actually is, you're talking about the FUPA, and
Mhm.
I'm wondering, have you had any results with inflammation elsewhere, like for skin problems like eczema and asthma and
Yeah.
things like that with people who have been on your miracle drink?
I won't call it a miracle drink. That's I see Nandini, Nandini, that's one of the things that I try to get people to understand. It's so simple. I'm just packaging nature in a way that's
Yeah.
palatable. And the answer to that question is yes, because two things happen. Number one, they get an email within 24 to 40 hours that says, FUPA water will not cure you. You must start hydrating. 76% of our population is chronically dehydrated, not dehydrated, chronically dehydrated. And they have a responsibility that I bestow upon them to start hydrating. And then when you add in FUPA water, as a part of your hydration methodology, nutrients, minerals, things like the aloe vera. Aloe vera helps heal and cleanse the skin. Spirulina helps heal and cleanse the blood. Chlorella is a collection of vegetables, the green part, the nutrients that are comprised in vegetables, and all of those things are helping the cells heal. So yes, eczema, uh, rashes, all sorts of skin situations. When hydration picks up, because it's our largest organ, our skin, it naturally has the ability to do that. One of the other things I wanted to share really quickly is another way to understand inflammation is when we were all little kids, like kindergarten, and the boys like me would take the Elmer's glue and put it on their hand and rub it together just so they could peel it off. Well, inflammation's like the glue that was sticking on my hands. And if I were to try to put water on its surface, it'd never penetrate. It's like if we eat a bad diet and there's lots of inflammation, but then we have a salad and we go, well, the salad didn't help me. Well, of course not, because there was so much inflammation, it couldn't penetrate the glue. We have to work at it consistently over time and slowly peel it off, and then the cells can absorb. That's another way to describe how inflammation works in the body.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with the nutrients that you've put in, with the thought and uh, that you've had to put in these nutrients. And I personally, do understand the importance of the gut biome and giving our body the right things to
Yeah.
cleanse it, and just getting rid of a lot of things help with that. And
Yeah.
coming to your Keijo story, there's also a lot of people who can't eat pasta, who are gluten sensitive in the US, that go to Europe and Italy and are able to eat pasta
Yes.
for the
Yes.
same reason.
Yes.
So I'm really happy with hearing this, and I'm definitely going to try out your
Yeah.
uh,
Well, thank you.
nature supply. Let's call it that.
Thank you so much, Nandini, for bringing this up. And absolutely true, right? Marquise, even wine is toxic in the United States because everything is created for shelf life, not for wellness.
Yes.
And everything is driven by profitability. And the fact that if food is to be manufactured, then there's something fundamentally wrong.
Right.
And we only have manufactured food. We don't have nature-made food,
That's right.
right? So it is something that we have to consciously remind ourselves of. And one
Yeah.
of the habits people got into during COVID is to start growing your own vegetables, start having home gardens. And
Yeah.
if communities got together and had home gardens and community gardens, and I grow tomatoes, my neighbor grows cucumbers, another neighbor grows oregano, we can all exchange, right? So there are ways, if individually we can't communally, we can make this happen. And
Mhm.
that is where we should be going. And I know Robin is ready for a question. So go ahead, Robin.
Well, first of all, I want to say it is awesome having you on. And
Thank-
when all four of us were on before I started recording, it was like old homework. It's just so joyful, and that is part of our health as well.
It is.
The question that I have is, how is it that this and your product sounds fantastic, and I actually going to order some as well, at least try it out. Is I love it.
I was like, how do I get that in the
How it,
camera?
yeah.
I
Yes,
don't know. Go ahead.
yeah, it's hold it back further, and it's by your shoulder. Maybe it won't be fuzzy. Yeah,
There we
there you
go.
go. There you go. There you
Fupa
go.
water.
How is it that goes to the area of the body that you are talking about?
This is so good. This is so good. Robin, we're so symptom oriented in our culture. The body doesn't function like that. The body doesn't think in coded areas. It thinks in the area of inflammation, wound, and healing. The brain being the control center that determines where things need to go. That's why I developed, even in my juice bar, everything was made with intentionality. Nothing was slapped together. When the body has the alkalinity, when it has the nutrients, as it begins to detox and get rid of all the excess, then the brain has the ability to say, oh, the kneecap is swollen. Send more cells there to help heal that wound and move it out. Like Kaz talked about earlier, and like we were discoursing around, many of us, particularly in America, the lower belly fat is norm. It's the area that we've been able to keep things. Maybe it's because we sit so much in our society that that's where it collects. Well, then that becomes the target point that the body goes, wait a minute, there's a whole lot of acidity, a whole lot of inflammation here. Once it's taken care of anything else it deems immediate, then that's how it knows to go there. That's just the way God designed us. Not, oh, well, chlorella does. I don't see. My secret to success is keeping things super simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it and sound like a biologist. I'm not. What I care about are results. And the simplest way to get there is to understand that our body is a machine and it naturally goes to heal and repair. If we get a cut here, the body knows, okay, there's an open wound, and we don't have to do something specific per se. It naturally knows to send more cells there to repair because the body's at stake. Well, the pannus, the FUPA, our lower belly fat, all that visceral fat surrounding our intestines, it knows, okay, this is up next. Let's go heal that. Because while it's a machine, its goal is to heal and help us thrive. And so, yeah, we're just designed miraculously, not FUPA water so miraculous. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. I like that. That's a very, very good explanation. Very good explanation. Thank
And
you.
that is so beautifully said in a world where everybody thinks machines are smarter than people and artificial intelligence is the new best thing.
Yep.
People don't realize the best thing ever is our entire being and the way we are connected internally
Yes.
with a heart, mind, body, and a spirit, and
Mm,
how our organs and our entire being
yes.
functions together, including our spirit, our soul.
Yes.
That is what's causing the healing.
Yes.
And having been a caregiver for almost 10 to 12 years for a terminally ill husband, I know this for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
While food and nutrients are important,
Mm-hmm.
when the soul is not at peace, when the soul is not joyful, there's nothing to lead the body and
That's right.
inform the body and trigger the body to heal,
That's right.
because all the energy goes towards that non-physical thing that truly drives all of us. When the
Right.
soul is at peace and the soul is joyful, then the body is free to do what the body does.
That's
And
so
so I'm so glad you're talking about it in terms of the whole being.
yeah.
And I just wanted to end this conversation with, what are your thoughts on what additionally people can do in
Yeah.
addition to hydrating and keeping their body in a place?
Mm-hmm.
The soul leads the body, the
Yeah.
spirit leads the body. So what other things can they do
Yeah.
to free their spirit and be in that space so that the body can do what the body is supposed to do?
Yeah. The other things that they can do, it was as you were talking, the first thing that hit me was the reason we say grace or we pray over our food isn't a spiritual thing. It's to create the right nature within us so that our bodies can receive. If we are looking with our eyes going, this is not right, that's not right, or we have a negative nature when we sit to consume, the body won't receive it anyway. It's like the experiment done with water. When you put good music by it, peaceful music, or very harsh music, how the water would toxify or not. So creating a state of gratitude in your life. I was talking to my father about 2 weeks ago, and I just did a video on it. One of the things he said is, son, while you're on your journey, and this is for all of you as well, while you're on your journey of life, while you're looking to move to the next mountain that you're going to climb, it is imperative that you reward yourself, that you express gratitude at the little milestones along the way. Every time you get a little win, take yourself for a walk. Maybe have the cup of coffee you'd like to have, or spend time with someone you love, because creating that internal state of gratitude helps keep the body at ease, so that when you are receiving, or whatever that looks like, you're keeping your body in a state of peace, alkalinity in your energy, and that helps the body heal. The second thing that you and Mike do so well, Cass, is laugh, 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 laugh. Even the Bible says laughter does good like a medicine, because it heals. And if we don't spend time laughing because life's so serious, then we're keeping ourselves stressed. And it doesn't matter what you eat, just like you were saying, Kaz. It's more than just what you put in, it's how you approach life all around. The last thing I would say is move. Move your body. Go for a walk. We do so much up here, but the reality is we're all of this, and it all functions together. So go for walks, do some exercise, do some yoga, but get back into your body, the miraculous thing that it is, and it will reward you. And I want to take one quick step back. Kaz, I think we've had Mike as long as we've had him, and we'll continue to have him, because the love, the laughter that you guys share is life-giving. That's why every one of us, when we come around you, we're all so happy, because you all emanate what it means to actually live. And thank you for that.
Oh, that brought a tear to my eye. Thank you so much, Marquis.
Real.
And today is his birthday. So thank you. That means a lot. And to our audience out there, you are important. You are created for a purpose.
Yes.
Even if the world tells you otherwise, you don't have to listen to anybody.
No.
You listen to yourself, you love yourself, you heal yourself, and be in your place of peace, heart, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Because you owe it to yourself. And my self-talk always is, my life is a gift from my God, And who am I to say that that gift was not good enough? It is a gift, and I embrace it, and I honor it, and I live in a way that it is worthy of the gift I have been given. And the gift is never a gift until I give it away to somebody, right? I don't go to a birthday party with a package and then bring it back. If I bring it back, it was never a gift. So whatever our gifts are, give it away. And in that process of honoring the gift itself is gratitude. And when we come from that place, when you come from that place, you're creating the energy in your body for it to do what it's supposed to do. And the joy and the peace will come.
Yes.
So go out there and be at peace, find your balance, and do the things you need to do.
Yes.
And hydrate, and FUPA water can help you.
Yes.
Try it, test it out.
Yeah.
But don't forget to do other things. And if you don't have time to go for a walk and you're constantly on conference calls,
Yeah.
okay, stand up and dance around.
That's right.
You
Dance.
can mute your audio for 10 minutes and dance while everybody else talks, right? Movement is good. Watch the birds. They sing and dance all the time. Do that for yourself. Take 15 minutes and sing and dance every day, and your body will be triggered differently from an energetic perspective. So have a wonderful week ahead. Find your own balance. Stay in your place of peace, and give FUPA water a try.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Kaz, we have a 10-day teaser. So you don't have to commit to a full month. Go to FUPAwater.com, FUPAwater.com. You can try it for 10 days. The 10-day challenge. Take it off.